Hey, Alex.
What?
So when you're on a boat and you're on like a rocky ocean, and you're drifting out to sea, what's the best way to keep your boat like sturdy and just staying still?
Oars?
No, not even close. You throw out your anchor.
Oh, your anchor. Oh,
Yep,
okay.
You throw out your anchor. You know what I like to do to keep my podcast steady and just sturdy while everything else seems to be rocky and wavy around me?
Not oars, right?
Not oars. It's Anchor again.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Anchor.fm. Let me explain. This app is free, completely free to host your podcast on.
Like 100% free?
100% free. And you get unlimited storage for all your episodes.
Unlimited?
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
As Russell Wilson would say.
Yes.
That's right. It's also got creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer.
Well, I'm all about that.
I know. And it also distributes your podcast for you, so it can be heard on the likes of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of them.
What's not to like?
It's great. You can even make money from your podcast, Alex.
And we're all about that.
And you don't need minimum listenership. So,
that's
good. That's a real good thing. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. You need to download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I'm getting right on it right now.
Keep your boat and your podcast sturdy. Oh, hey, yo.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I am Ben.
And I'm Alex.
And this is the Fantasy Chairmen podcast.
We are here.
Another Thursday night football edition for you. Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Oh, yeah. Got the game rolling, though, right now.
Yeah, but yes, we do. It is right towards the end of the second quarter here. And the Buccaneers are up 13-7. Just saw David Montgomery fall into the end zone. So good for me in the League of Origin there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Mike Evans touchdown for the Bucs. So
yep, another short one, 2-yard touchdown. He's now, what were you saying? 3 total touchdowns on 4 total yards
in the last 2 weeks. 3 total touchdowns on 4 yards.
That's insane.
That's wild.
So. Insane. Pretty cool. But it is a Thursday night football Fantasy Chairmen podcast. We've got some NFL news for you. Then we're doing a little stock watch. Some buy lows and sell highs that we think you guys need to capitalize on. And we'll go into our jackpot review from our jackpot matchup last week. And it was meh. It was just meh. A lot of factors played into that not panning out very well. So I'd say we're 2-2 on jackpot matchups now. But we've got a good one this week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We'll give you that during the speed preview. And then we will update the Hot Prop and Lock It standings, brought to you by our friends at Thrive Fantasy. Hashtag prop up with Thrive Fantasy.
You bet.
You bet. All right. Well, without further ado, Alex, should we just get into it?
Let's get into it.
You want to talk about some news?
Sure.
All right.
And now it's time for your NFL news.
Well, this last Sunday, there were 2 pretty bad injuries for the fantasy world and for the NFL world there.
I forgot I was going to put some sad music on here for that.
Yeah, and it both affected us pretty harshly for our fantasy teams because we both had one guy apiece.
Oh, my gosh.
Are you looking for some sad music right now?
You keep going with the news. You let me do my thing here.
Anyways, Nick Chubb for the Browns got put on IR after he injured his knee. It was deemed an MCL sprain. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. And then for the Chargers, Austin Eckler, I didn't even get to really see the play, but sounds like he has a hamstring injury along with a possible hyperextended knee injury.
Oh, man.
And has not yet been put on IR, but Nick, Austin,
Man.
we're just trying to scrape our ways, me and you, from 1-3. We both got our first victory yesterday or this last Sunday in the big
Yes, we
league,
did.
but it came at a cost,
Came at a grave
a
cost.
hefty cost.
I had Nick Chubb everywhere. Everywhere!
Austin Eckler, you're my boy.
I had Austin Eckler all over the place, too.
Oh,
This is just...
both of those fantasy titans of industry
What?
out for an extended period of time here.
Is this 4 top 12 running backs?
What have we done?
From this draft that are now out for multiple weeks, if not the season?
What have we done to offend thee so?
It's just adding to 2020.
Oh, man.
What can we do to repent? How can we stop these grave injuries from happening constantly?
Oh.
Nick Chubb, I'm sorry, friend.
Austin Eckler, be well, my friend. Get better soon.
I am sick of injuries.
Now I need you to put some Independence Day music on there, and I'll give you a pep speech. We're going to live on. We're going to survive.
I am making that drop.
All right.
I'm making that drop for when we're 1-4 after this week.
All right. Sounds good.
I'm
Sounds
going to
good.
make that a drop. Oh, man. Yeah, it sucks about Nick Chubb and Austin Eckler, but all you can do is keep on keeping on.
Yep. Hopefully
Get
got
out
some
there,
depth.
shoot some trades out.
Pick up some waiver wire additions.
I just spent $36 fab dollars on D'Ernest Johnson.
That was a big chunk.
I put 27 in on Justin Jackson. I need something. Need
Big
something
chunk.
to spark it. So keep making moves. You can do this. We believe in you.
Next piece of news, the Titans, as of this morning, they had another positive COVID-19 case on one of their players. So right now, I think I saw an update that said that their game was postponed until Tuesday. They're going to try and play it Tuesday, the Titans and the Bills.
And the Bills are supposed to play next Thursday, which would then move that game to Saturday, is what the chatter, what the rumors have been, I believe.
So far. And then the Broncos and the Patriots
Yep.
got flexed to Monday night, this
Because
upcoming Monday night.
Stephon Gilmore tested positive.
As well, yes.
They have not had any more positive tests, though. Everybody else thus far has tested negative. We'll see what tomorrow brings. And unfortunately, this is just the reality that we live in now. And
You just got to have enough depth on your squad to be able to
hopefully,
reel from stuff like this.
if you're in a dynasty league, hopefully you load it up on some depth before this season with the thought process of things like this being a possibility. So
it is literally, we're going daily here just trying to figure out what your plan is. But please have enough depth on your bench and give yourself flexibility to be able to replace people at a moment's notice. So
best you can do is do kind of what we talked about, where you have your league mates, if you're a commissioner, give you the replacement player. If you're on Sleeper, it's great because you can nickname your players. And what you can do is go in there, and before the Sunday games are played, if you have a Titans player or a Buffalo Bills player in there and the game ends up getting canceled or postponed even farther down the road for whatever reason to where it won't count in week 5, then you can put the player that you want to swap for that Titans or Bills player as the nickname under the Titans or Bills player. So if you have Derrick Henry in your lineup and you have, I don't know, like maybe Todd Gurley on the bench for whatever, for example, you put in on Derrick Henry's nickname, swap Todd Gurley if Titans game's canceled, or just swap Todd Gurley.
Nick Chubb, or not Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry replacement is what I did. So this last week when I had CEH,
right,
I put in underneath J.K. Dobbins, which thank goodness CEH played. Put in J.K. Dobbins' nickname, CEH replacement. If for some reason
exactly.
the Chiefs
You
game,
could do it that way, either way, or both. That way it's for sure known. There's a timestamp when that nickname gets put in there. So sleeper coming through in the clutch with those features right there. But that's just a way to go about it. It makes a little extra work for you if you're a commissioner because you have to go and readjust scores and things like that. But just get your league in on it so that they're aware this could be happening. Mm-hmm. And yeah, more and more teams are seeming to be affected at this point too. So it's
just got to be ready.
Thus far, it's all contained between the Patriots and the Titans. Mm-hmm. But hopefully, crossing our fingers, no more than that.
Cross the fingers. All right. Ooh, Jimmy Graham with a nasty looking one-handed
touchdown right
catch
there.
for a touchdown. Ooh,
good catch there,
nifty.
Old Jimmy,
Jimity.
Old Jimmy. Need some Nick Foles points right there. Nice job, Foles.
That was a nifty little one-handed snag. Yeah.
Off the hand, right off the shoulder. Good job there, Jimmy Graham.
That's all I got for news and notes. So,
yep. Keep your eyes on what is going on with those games and stay water, people.
Stay water.
Stay flexible. All right. Well, if that's it for NFL news, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We got the stock watch for you here.
Stock watch.
Some buy lows, some sell highs, and we've got quite a few players that we'll be talking about here. I know you've got a few written down for us over there, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a few I might just throw in myself, but why don't you let's kick it off with the buy lows.
Some buy low options. So first buy low that I have here, the top of my list is, and it might kind of seem a little, I don't know, like not as much of a buy low option as you might think, but Davante Adams is my first buy low option. Now, buy low in the sense of he's injured right now. He's actually, currently on a bye week. This could be the time that you could go to the owner of that, of Davante Adams, depending on what their league record is.
That's what I was going to say.
You might be able to purchase get him for a player just maybe beneath his caliber or his tier and give them to be able to use this week to be able to maybe better their chance at getting a win this week. So if you're in my position and I'm sitting at 1-3 in the League of Origin right now. If I owned Davante Adams, who has not produced for me for a couple weeks now, I'm looking kind of desperate to get a win this week. Yep. So you would be someone that might want to receive an offer for a Davante Adams and thoroughly consider someone for depth maybe.
Target me with a package deal for maybe with a running back or like a third down back plus a wide receiver 2 or 3 or whatever, and just see if the owner that is 0-4 or 1-3 is desperate enough to just, I need to try and get a win. I need to be able to plug these guys into my lineup.
Now, typically with these buy lows, though, the window is short, so you got to kind of act, accordingly within the time frame. Otherwise, you could miss out on it. So Davante Adams coming back, he's got Tampa Bay in week 6, but week 7, the Texans, week 8, the Vikings, week 9, San Francisco, week 10, Jacksonville. There's some nice matchups coming up. And regardless, don't really need to say it, but Davante Adams is going to be getting, 25 to 30% of the target share in the Packers offense from Aaron Rodgers, who is on fire right now. So
just put it this way. Once Davante Adams is back playing, you're not going to be able to buy low on him, so you need to try and strike now.
If you want him, put out offers now.
What you got next?
We're just going all off mine, or do you want to go next?
We're rolling off yours, and I'll throw in where I see fit.
Oh, okay, all right. My next one I got is Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Ooh, Marquise.
So Marquise has kind of been having a rough go of it so far. Just the connection between him and Lamar just hasn't really transferred from last year. Lamar is kind of struggling throwing the ball right now. So Marquise has kind of been affected by it as well. He had that one touchdown in week 1, but ever since then, I mean, it's been 6 points, 2 points, 10 points in week 4. So if he could turn around and hopefully Lamar can start throwing the ball with some accuracy again, which their offense was all, I mean, from week 3, it just kind of seems like they've kind of been in a flux right now. They're not really in sync. So I'm hoping that if they can get back on track this week, the Ravens, they've got some good matchups ahead of them. They got the Bengals, they got the Eagles. Pittsburgh is kind of that'll be a tough matchup. They've got the Colts, that'll be kind of another tough matchup, and then the Patriots. Well, I guess they got a little slew of some hard matchups, but Hollywood Brown is the number one wide receiving option.
He's got that game-breaking ability. You just haven't seen him do it yet. He's been steady pretty much through all 4 weeks except for week 3 at a down game. He's had 6 targets the first 3 weeks, caught 5 in weeks 1 and 2. He had 100 yards in week 1, 42 yards week 2, only 13 yards, and only caught 2 of his targets in week 3 against Kansas City. No,
okay.
And he had 8 targets against Washington this last week, caught 4 of them for 86 yards. So, I mean, he's getting a decent target share. He's putting up yardage totals that you're not unhappy with. I mean, 42 is kind of meh. 13 was bad, but 101 yards, 86 yards. That's pretty good. If you get a touchdown on top of those, then you're having a good week.
Real good week.
Marquise Brown, he's got that just game-breaking speed and ability to, if Lamar catches him on one deep one, he's gone. Mm-hmm. He's gone. And all of a sudden, you have a game where he goes off for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns, and it may only be on 4 catches.
Yep. They can win you a week, that's for sure.
Definitely a guy that you want to try to target while the owner is feeling disappointed in him right now because he hasn't had that game yet. And it could go off. It could happen against anybody. The matchups don't scare me that much. He's one of those Tyreek Hill type players. Of you plug him in and you know that if it's a down week, it's going to be a down week. But if he hits, he's going to hit big.
And the minute Lamar starts to get back in sync and throwing the ball confidently, you're going to want Hollywood Brown your team.
Absolutely.
Okay, my last buy low that I got right now is DJ Moore, Carolina Panthers. So he's kind of been taking a back seat to Robbie Anderson right now, and a lot of people are questioning.
He's the wide receiver 2 there, Alex.
Is he the wide receiver 2 of this team?
He might even be the 3rd option on the team behind Mike Davis.
Whoa. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But I think DJ Moore, we know the talent's there, right? I think it's just a matter of getting ingrained into the system and finding that rapport with Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, Robbie Anderson, Teddy B found a quick rapport, but I think once they get synced up, sky's the limit for DJ Moore. I mean,
Well, and Robbie Anderson, he was coached under
Matt Rule in college.
Matt Rule, right,
Yep.
in college, yeah. So I think there's something to be said about that there too. They might be scheming more plays his way.
Could be.
Because Matt Rule knows what he's got.
I did hear this, though, the other day, which kind of is counterproductive to my argument of a buy low, but Robbie Anderson has like close to 200 yards after the catch.
Mm-hmm.
And DJ Moore, and it shocked all the people on the podcast, but DJ Moore currently has like 32 or 33 yards after the catch.
Ooh.
So very, very low, which he was like in the top 5 last year for yards after the catch. So
yeah.
I don't know if that's a scheme or if there's something going on or what, but DJ Moore, he's got a great matchup this week against the Falcons. Their secondary is thrashed right now. Maybe this is the get-right game for him and get him back on the right track. So I think this is a great opportunity. Go to that DJ Moore owner. He might be a little frustrated.
There are podcasts, there are people talking about dropping DJ Moore right now.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's just what it's sounding like. Do you keep or drop DJ Moore? Those are things that I'm hearing around Twitter, around podcasts, all over the place. Mm-hmm. And I'm just thinking, like, you can't just drop DJ Moore. I don't know what league you would be in where you can just drop DJ Moore. Well, who are you picking up over DJ Moore that you can just drop him? So if
Olamide Zacchaeus?
But, like, really, though, are you going to – I mean –
No, you're not dropping DJ Moore.
I don't care what kind of analytics or whatever you're looking at. I mean –
don't drop DJ Moore, people.
Man,
don't do that.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know.
It's that simple. Don't drop him. Don't drop him. We don't need to explain it. Just don't do it.
I don't know. Unless you get that
Trade him.
clear,
I mean, if anything, don't drop him.
Exactly. And so that's the way people are thinking right now. And if that's the case, I think you're going to see DJ Moore bounce back. Maybe it's not going to be to the level at which he was drafted or to the level at which he played last year. But I think you're going to see a bit of a bounce back. The more Teddy Bridgewater gets comfortable with the system and gets comfortable with his team and his receivers around there, the better that Bridgewater starts to do. I think you're going to see DJ Moore start to go along with that. And again, while you may not get where the potential at which he was drafted for his production, if you can go and scoop him up on the cheap right now because the owner is trying to decide whether to drop him or not, do it. Get in there and just get him for wide receiver depth, if anything.
Yes.
You know, it's definitely buy low on DJ Moore.
All right, moving on to sell highs now.
You can do it, man.
Sell highs. Yeah.
I agree with all these, so I'm just saying.
Okay.
You gotta
no buy lows. No buy lows. You want to say nothing?
Not too many. I think you could probably put David Montgomery in there. He hasn't been. He hasn't been great. He looked really, really good in week 1. But part of David Montgomery, I just worry about the system and the way, I don't know. Nick Foles was not looking good in this first quarter here. He did not look good last week. And, Trubisky is Trubisky. So if they go back to Trubisky, it is what it is. But I don't know. So I pondered David Montgomery, but I didn't know that I officially wanted to put him in here. But if you've got the David Montgomery owner panicking, and you need some running back help, if you've got depth at wide receiver, just go see if you can throw a wide receiver, like a low-end wide receiver 2 or a high-end wide receiver 3, maybe plus like a handcuff back or something to try and
with the way the running back landscape is right now, I don't know if that would get it done. That's the thing.
It just depends.
So depleted at running back everywhere. So
depends on the team, the owner, what the team makeup is. But if you can, go scoop up David Montgomery for somewhat cheap. I'd recommend doing that. So,
all right, moving on to sell highs here. My first one, this might have you a little shook here, Ben, but Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, I actually was going. This is another reason why I'm just kind of rolling with yours, because I actually had Odell as a sell high. I'm kind of more to the mindset of I would just kind of rather hold him and keep him. For me personally, just because I don't know what exactly you're going to get in return. If you can get a really good running back for him right now, I would 100% do that because of the running back landscape. I
would trade him off for a wide receiver 2 if you could, which I think that's what he is. But if somebody's out there that still sees the allure of Odell being a wide receiver 1, I would take a wide receiver 2.
He was the wide receiver 1 this week.
I would say a wide receiver 2 and then a running back end running back 2 or running back 3. I would take that.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. I could agree with that for sure. That's something that I would consider doing
because in that offense,
the redraft League of Origin for sure.
Odell's still, he's not going to thrive. He's not going to have humongous games in this offense. It might be 1 or 2 a year.
No, we know
in Stefanski's offense, it's going to be run.
We know what Stefanski wants to do. We know how they're winning games right now, and Odell just happened to showcase his elite superstar talent this last week against a very, very bad Dallas Cowboys defense, unless it was just the Cleveland Browns actually making them look bad. But and there were some gadget trick plays in there that they used with Odell that he just happened to break and get. So he got those 3 touchdowns. One was on a 50-yard end around. Another was a pass from Jarvis Landry. And they're not going to be able to do that every single week.
Nope.
And it's going to be run. And they're going to take shots to Odell. And Odell does have the talent to break it at any point.
But I think this is one of your
it's
high score weeks, that one of the very few high score weeks for him that you can capitalize on, that you should if you're trying to get out of the Odell business.
I like Odell as a potential high-end wide receiver 2 for the rest of season. But if you can go out and get a little bit more for him than that and capitalize on that big game that he just had, being the wide receiver one, then do it. Do it.
Speaking of Browns, my next sell high, this might surprise you a little bit, but I got Kareem Hunt as a sell high. Now, hear me out.
This crossed my mind too, so another reason I'm kind of just rolling with you here, Alex.
Hear me out now, people. Hear me out. You might be saying, well, why would I sell Kareem Hunt? Nick Chubb just went down. Kareem Hunt's got the backfield to himself. I'm selling him.
Tell me why.
Because everyone is thinking exactly what you're thinking. The guy's going to get unlimited work. He's going to be the receiving back. He's going to be the first and second down back. He'll get spelled occasionally by D'Ernest Johnson, but I don't believe he's going to get D'Ernest Johnson is going to get nearly the touch that Kareem was while Nick Chubb was still in the game. Now, with that being said, Kareem Hunt's value is at, I don't know if it could get any higher right now. Like it is, before he's even played a week by himself as the lead back, he is already assumed, like people are already saying, top 5, top 4 back for the rest of the year. So
this one does not go without risk. There is great chance that Kareem Hunt comes in and he is exactly what you're thinking he's going to be, and he's a 3-down back that is.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I do believe that he'll
be
be
best rushing offense in the NFL right now.
I do believe that he'll be a stud. Like for as long as Nick Chubb's
He's been
out,
a stud when Nick Chubb was in.
Yeah, he'll be a top 5 back as long as Nick Chubb is out. But they already have Nick Chubb slated he'll be back in 6 weeks. So there will be a time frame,
if not earlier.
Hopefully
earlier, please.
He could beat the time frame. So people realize Kareem Hunt will not be the only top running back for the Browns for it's not the rest of the year. It's IR for 4 to 6 weeks is what they're estimating. Yep. So you either ride it out for a few weeks. But there's a possibility. Nick Chubb was kind of beat up a little bit. He had a groin. Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt had a groin injury last week. So there's a possibility that you could be, if he gets himself hurt, then it's the D'Ernest, show.
The D'Ernest Johnson show.
So
coming in.
There's risks on both sides of it. But for me, I don't know if Kareem Hunt's value gets any higher than it is currently right now, even if he balls out.
You could sell for an absolute ransom right now.
The person that has Kareem Hunt in our league wants a ransom for him. I mean,
exactly.
I know he doesn't say it, but he wants a ransom for him.
No, absolutely. I sent it. I sent an offer, and and I didn't blame him for not taking it. 100%. But my thing was I was not going to be able to give up anymore without crippling my team.
Exactly, and that's the hard part.
But
so unless you find
you
that
might
one
be able
person,
to capitalize on that.
Yeah,
if you can find that person that is willing to give up that much that they do end up crippling their team, then hey, good on you, because you just made out like a bandit right there. Another honorary sell high. You could probably try to sell D'Ernest Johnson kind of high right now too. Just saying.
I don't know if you're going to get much for him, but
I mean,
you got to find the right person.
If you could
find the right
get
person that believes it,
a
that
decent wide receiver for D'Ernest Johnson right now,
you got to find somebody that believes that he's going to get as much work as Kareem Hunt was while Nick Chubb was playing as the running back too in that format, which it could entirely happen. But I don't.
13 rushes for 95 yards this last week.
I don't know if it will. We'll see. We'll see.
That's why I'm saying sell high. I mean,
I just don't know how much
everybody's going crazy on the waiver wire for him this week, so you might be able to get something. If you don't need him, you got him.
All right, our last one. I've got 2 more, but we're going a little long on this, so we'll do one more here. My last sell high
we're good. Keep it going.
My last sell high that I got. Well, all right, fine. We'll just do these 2 real quick then. My next sell high is James Robinson, running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this is another one, people. This is another one.
Alex,
hear me out.
Why do you keep selling top 5 running backs?
Hear me out, people. Now, before the year even started, where was James Robinson on the depth chart for all the running backs? He was like 4 or 5. Then the team traded away Leonard Fournette. Actually, they didn't even trade him away. They just let him go. They let go of Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
Next was Raquel Armstead. Raquel Armstead came down. He got put on the COVID-19 list. Next up was Divine Ozigbo. He got hurt. And then James Robinson came in. And he's been running very, very well.
They signed Dare Ogunbowale, too.
That too. That too.
Yeah.
And wow, why am I blanking on Chris Thompson? They signed Chris Thompson as well.
Man, I forget Chris Thompson's even there.
Because he hasn't been playing really.
Because they don't get used.
Because he hasn't
None
been
of these guys.
used. Yes, exactly. So, my point being is that James Robinson was like 4th or 5th on the depth chart initially. So, don't get me wrong. He's been playing like a stud. And the thing is that the Jaguars, they don't owe anything to him. He's just been depth right there. Now, it'll be real easy if James Robinson starts messing, if the Jaguars start performing like we think the Jaguars should. I think they've kind of been playing a little bit out of their element, just a touch. So if the Jaguars go back to playing the way the Jaguars should be playing, it could get a lot tougher for James Robinson. If he messes up a couple of times, it could be Divine Ozigbo time. It could be Raquel Armstead time really quickly because they have no capital.
If Raquel Armstead ever comes off the COVID list, that is.
Yeah, I know. What the heck's going on
I don't know
there?
what that's about, but...
So my big thing is, James Robinson, he's playing ridiculously well than anybody expected. It might be a good time to sell your stocks high right now and get some more players that are higher level, maybe equal level of caliber as him that are a little more for sure with their jobs. So
listen, I'm going to put this simply for you because Alex really, really wanted to explain it to you, that why you should sell James Robinson.
Okay.
He's an undrafted rookie, free agent running back on a bad team that is performing at a top 5 running back level in fantasy right now. You could probably go get something pretty darn good from a team that would like to have a top 5 running back in fantasy right now. What are the odds that this guy is going to be able to continue to do this on the Jaguars as an undrafted rookie free agent? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We've seen it done before. He could be the next Phillip Lindsay, but
what are the odds?
What are the odds? You could sell real high right now, and I'm sure you could get some pretty good return on him.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, my real last sell high player.
There we go. Like I said, we're good. Keep it rolling.
Last sell high player is Todd Gurley, Atlanta Falcons running back. Now,
see, I agreed with you on just about all these, so good. Well done, Alex.
Todd Gurley. So he just has not looked like the Todd Gurley that we know and that we used to see. The explosiveness is not there. It's
not getting the usage that we were all hoping he would get.
Yep.
It
looks rough. And there is rumors that Brian Hill is going to be splitting snaps here with him. He's already he's moving up in snap percentage each week. So now Todd Gurley just had a good week. He had 2 touchdowns within it was in the red zone, within the 10-yard line. He got a couple of touchdowns in. So this is a great week for you to capitalize if you have Todd Gurley and try and push it off and say, well, yeah. Look, maybe somebody's just looking at box score totals, or points.
Yep.
Try and sell on that if you can.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, this is just a case of guy just had a good game. He's kind of been disappointing before that. We know what he's looking like, and it's not the Todd Gurley of old. Go out there and try to capitalize by getting yourself either a package deal if you need some depth, or if you are in need of a wide receiver, maybe try to flip like, hey, Todd Gurley is a high-end running back 2 right now. I would like your high-end wide receiver too, something like that. Or maybe you flip Todd Gurley for a package with one of our buy low candidates.
Ooh.
If you could flip Todd Gurley for, say, DJ Moore and
something else,
and like Latavius Murray.
Oh, I'd do that now. I do that yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Because obviously, Latavius Murray just had a good game, and his usage has kind of been going up a little bit, but he's still viewed as just the straight backup to Alvin Kamara by a lot of people. If you're really like fantasy savvy, then you know what Latavius Murray actually is. But
Yes.
a lot of casual fantasy players, they will view Latavius as the backup to Alvin Kamara. And if you could get a package deal like that, I would do that 100% right now.
Yesterday.
I would have done it right after the game.
Right then.
Right after he scored that second touchdown.
Yep, I would have put him out.
just put him right out there.
All right.
Does that do it?
That's it for
Stock
buy
watch?
low, sell high. Buy, sell,
Buy low, sell high. Oh, wait.
What?
Try to sell Robert Tonyan.
Oh, gosh.
To anybody that needs a tight end right now, if you have tight end depth and Robert Tonyan's one of them, sell right now to whoever needs a tight end in your league.
You don't think Robert Tonyan's going to have another 3-touchdown game in the
I
future?
don't think that he will. I do think that he's probably going to trend upwards a little bit, but probably get a little bit more usage with Alan Lazard staying out for a while. But if I'm
agree.
you, I am just sell Robert Tonyan. All right, we'll jump into the jackpot review here, and then we'll go into our speed preview. Saw a big run from Ronald Jones there.
Yeah, ripped off gave somebody a little dead leg right there.
Yeah, shook him. Thursday Night Football is still going on here, so we are kind of watching that game.
Score is currently
Wow.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers 13, Chicago Bears 14.
Tampa Buccaneers. What was it?
I think that's what I was trying to say.
Learn how to speak.
Too quick. With 11:23 left to go in the third.
Oh my goodness. Love it. All right. Jackpot matchup review. Real quick, we'll talk on this, but we picked the Atlanta Falcons versus the Green Bay Packers in week 4, and there were 46 total points scored in that game. The Falcons 16, Packers 30. And we're chalking this one up as a loss, but there was a lot of different factors that went into this one. And honestly, Alex, we probably should have considered it before the game.
We should have, yeah. I mean,
I think we mentioned
Ridley and
keeping
Julio
your eye
were
on
both
Devontae Adams, Julio Jones,
yeah.
Calvin Ridley, all those guys. But
So Devontae didn't play. Julio got called out for the second half because he re-aggravated that hamstring injury, and Calvin Ridley actually had a goose egg.
yeah,
Which his ankle must have been affecting him quite a bit.
the Packers locked him up too.
Yep.
And and Matt Ryan missed one in the end zone to him too, a fairly deep one to Calvin Ridley in the end zone. But just going into this, it sounded like all of them were trending to play and trending to be all right, good to go for the game. Devontae Adams was upset when they announced that he was going to be out for the game. He had got on Twitter or whatever and, said, like, I should be out there. I can't remember what he said exactly, but it sounded like it was almost a surprise to him. Julio went in, played, wasn't looking fantastic.
That hamstring is bothering him.
Yeah, then didn't come back out after halftime. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, there was no Alan Lazard. We knew that before the game. Marquez Valdez-Scantling didn't do much.
Nope.
It all went to Robert Tonyan. Aaron Jones was fine.
Jones is fine.
Jamal
Rodgers
Williams
was fine.
had a decent
Jamal
game.
Williams had an all right game. Tonyan had a good game.
Olamide Zacchaeus
He had an all right game.
had an all right game. But
8 for 86. And then Todd Gurley with the 2 touchdowns and 57 yards. That was a good game too. So
a lot of players that you wouldn't have expected to have been putting in that game. If you had to make a pivot there, if you had to make a pivot there, now I can't talk, it's contagious.
sorry.
There on the Monday night when you heard that Devontae Adams was out and you ended up pivoting to Robert Tonyan, then
Congrats.
good on you. Good on you. Well done. So anyway, 2 for 2 on jackpot matchups there. We will do better.
Hamstrung on that one.
We will do better this week, and that's why you just need to keep up to date. Make sure you're setting those notifications on your phones so that you see those last minute outs and things like that. All right. You ready for the speed preview?
Speed preview time. Let's do it.
Speed preview. All right, we've got Thursday night football going on right now. Buccaneers versus the Bears, and Buccaneers just kicked a field goal. They are now up 16-14. David Montgomery has a touchdown right now, and Allen Robinson's getting some targets.
Mike Evans has a touchdown.
Evans, little short touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So
those are some good guys to play.
So far, though, kind of a slow going, low scoring game with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter here. All right, Alex, kick it off with our first Sunday morning game there.
First Sunday morning game is the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Houston Texans. On the Jaguars side of the ball, you're starting up James Robinson. You're starting up DJ Chark. He had a bounce-back game last week with Minshew. Minshew was happy to see him back in the
lineup.
I'll say that much.
DJ Chark.
You're starting up Minshew as well. And,
fire Minshew up this week.
Keelan Cole might be a flex consideration, possibly. Could be, just depending.
Especially with all the chaos with the COVID stuff going on with Titans and all them.
Keep him as a possibility.
You might need to, for sure.
On the Texans side of the ball, I
think James Robinson, too.
Yes, I did say that.
Oh, okay, I missed it. Sorry.
On the Texans side of the ball, I think the Texans go off this game. I think they're fired up after Bill O'Brien was... By the way, in the notes, I did not mention this, but Bill O'Brien.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
GM and head coach of the Texans got fired. So
Bob got canned.
So I think the Texans are going to come out. It's going to be a players, union. Hey, let's show them that we still got it. I think fire up Deshaun, Will Fuller, David Johnson, you're still playing. Outside of that, Brandon Cooks.
They just going to let J.J. Watt coach the team?
Oh, maybe. Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb could be flex considerations.
All right. Next matchup we got here is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, man. Rivalry matchup here. I temper my expectations on Joe Burrow in this one. That Ravens defense is stout. They are stingy. I mean, if you do have Joe Burrow, you likely have another quarterback on your roster that you could pivot to. Most of the time, Joe Burrow is being drafted as a second quarterback for your team. I am staying away from A.J. Green. You more than likely have to start up Tyler Boyd in at least a flex spot. Joe Mixon, I think, you have to fire him up. I mean, there's not many running backs getting that volume anymore, and he just went off last week.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore Ravens.
You starting up T. Higgins?
I don't know that I want to this week against the Ravens. But
well, I'm doing it, so.
I'm just saying. I mean, you might have to in a flex there. So, Ravens, you're starting up Lamar Jackson, obviously. I am staying away from the backfield if I can. Starting Mark Andrews, you're probably more than likely having to start Marquise Hollywood Brown. I think Brown has a good game this week. The Cincinnati Bengals defense doesn't scare me much, so I think we might see a bounce back from Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown in this one.
If you have to start a running back, Mark Ingram.
I guess.
So that'd be our suggestion.
I guess. I got caught up there trying to figure out who I want to start, and really I just want to stay away, but...
Next matchup is the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Panthers side of the ball, you're starting up Robbie Anderson. That guy's been pretty consistent.
Guy's a top 10 wide receiver right now.
Starting up Mike Davis. DJ Moore, I think this is a bounce-back game for DJ Moore. I'd fire him up. Teddy Bridgewater is a stream quarterback with a great matchup.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'd like to fire him up as well. On Atlanta's side of the ball, keep an eye on Julio. He has not practiced so far this week, so that's something to keep an eye on for sure. Calvin Ridley, as long as he's good to go. I'm still firing up Calvin Ridley, even what happened from last week. Hayden Hurst might be a good consideration as well, especially if Julio is out. And then everyone else, Russell Gage, Zacchaeus, deep flex considerations. Todd Gurley too. You're starting Todd Gurley.
Yeah. I mean, you probably more than likely have to, unless you sold high on him.
Ooh, you may have done that.
You may have. All right, next one is the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. And that Chiefs defense has actually looked really good the last few weeks, going up. I mean, they went against the New England Patriots with Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham at quarterback, so... needless to say, a little bit of an easier matchup there, but they shut down Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens and did not allow them to do much in that game. So on the Raiders side, you're starting Darren Waller at tight end. I'm staying away from Derek Carr if I can. You starting Josh Jacobs, but outside of that, I think I'm staying away from Raiders. On the Kansas City Chiefs, it doesn't even need to be said, but obviously Patrick Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I think you can get valuable flex points out of the likes of Sammy Watkins and Mecole Hardman
Possibly,
as well.
yeah. Possibly.
Raiders defense does not scare me going up against the Chiefs here.
All right, next matchup, we got Arizona Cardinals going up against the New York Jets. On the Cardinals side of the ball, this is a get-right game for the Cardinals right here, folks. This is
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. You're firing up Kyler Murray. You're firing up Kenyon Drake. Hopefully this is a bounce-back game for him. DeAndre Hopkins, no question, you're firing him up as well. And outside of that, everyone else, man, I'd rather stay away from Christian Kirk, Larry Fitz, Andy Isabella. It's just way too hit or miss with those guys. So staying away from them. Jets side of the ball, maybe Le'Veon Bell if he's back this week, but that's about it.
Yeah, maybe.
And Jamison Crowder.
Maybe
Probably
Jamison
Jamison Crowder too, but that's it.
But, oh, man, they're going to have Joe.
Fire up your Cardinals defense.
They're going to have Joe Flacco in there at quarterback, so
yeah,
I don't know.
That could be ugly.
Fire up Cardinals defense for sure. I like it a lot. All right, moving on. We have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm scared for the Eagles in this one. I mean, they had that comeback win against the 49ers this last week, and it was not pretty the way it was done. Zach Ertz has not been looking like Zach Ertz recently. And
I don't know what's up.
The target share, despite not having any wide receivers, has not been that great for Zach Ertz either. I mean,
is this a contract situation?
It may be, but you'd think he would want to ball out to try and get a contract after this. So you're starting him if you have Zach Ertz, unless you have a really good pivot. But Carson Wentz, I want to stay away from going against the Steelers here. Miles Sanders, you got to start him on the Steelers side of the ball. You should feel good about starting Big Ben. Deontay Johnson's supposed to be back, it sounds like, so I'm firing up Deontay Johnson for sure. Juju Smith-Schuster, full systems go, and James Conner, throw him in there.
Mm-hmm. Our next matchup is the Los Angeles Rams going up against the Washington football team.
We're mashing it up.
Yes, we're mashing it up.
Mashing it up.
What?
Sorry, you said our next mashup.
Oh, the next mashup. Mashup.
I had to give it.
Our schedule.
I had to give you a hard time on that one. All right.
You threw me for a loop.
I know.
Reset the clock. LA Rams going up against the Washington football team on the Rams side of the ball. Man, they were supposed to have a good matchup last week, and it was pretty lackluster as well. So I'm going to give them another go here. Probably start Jared Goff. He's a good streaming quarterback this week. You're firing up, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. I think Tyler Higbee could have a good game this week as well. The running backs, man, who knows? It is Russian roulette with the running backs right now. 1 week it's Malcolm Brown.
Supposed to be back too.
Cam Akers supposed to be back, and then the next week it could be Darrell Henderson. So I'm kind of staying away from them if I can.
Yeah.
Washington side of the ball, they just switched quarterbacks, by the way. Dwayne Haskins not starting. It will be Kyle Allen. Dwayne Haskins is now the third-string quarterback, by the way. Alex Smith is the backup to Kyle.
I know.
What did he do?
They were done with it, apparently. Man.
So, Washington side, the only people I'm really confident in firing up is Antonio Gibson and Terry McLaurin, and those guys are iffy at best.
Probably temper your expectations for Terry McLaurin, likely going up against Jalen Ramsey in this. And with a new quarterback in there, Kyle Allen was one of the least accurate quarterbacks in the NFL last year.
It could be nasty for Washington.
But he may hyper-target Terry McLaurin, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Terry McLaurin and who'd you say, Antonio Gibson?
Yes.
Yeah, that's I agree.
TBD.
All right. Hopefully a get-right game for the Rams there. We've got next matchup, Miami Dolphins going up against the San Francisco 49ers. And in this one, I think you are starting up, you could probably feel okay starting up Myles Gaskin. You're likely needing to with the way running backs are right now. I think he's going to see some pretty heavy volume in the passing game. He's not being used in the red zone, so that always scares me with Myles Gaskin, but I think you're good to see probably 6 to 7 targets going his way in this one. You're starting Devontae Parker. I'm staying absolutely away from Preston Williams. You likely have to start Gesicki, but I would feel...
I would find another option if you could.
I would not... Yeah, I would feel uncomfortable with it. So if you can find something else, I would plug them in there. Fitzmagic, you probably have a better start at quarterback, I would imagine. On the 49ers side, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is supposed to be back. I haven't heard much.
I wouldn't play any Niners quarterback.
As far as that goes. Yeah, I would not either. Is Raheem Mostert supposed to be back this week?
I haven't heard yet. They haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
I know he's been getting some limited practice in, but they have not made decisions.
I'm starting Jerick McKinnon either way. He's had a touchdown in every game this season. It sounds like Deebo Samuel was out with an illness today, but he should be hopefully good to go for this game. I would probably stay away or maybe a flex spot for him. If anything, obviously, George Kittle. But other than that, maybe Brandon Ayuk. He busted out.
It could be a good flex.
Good flex play there.
Next game is the New York Giants going up against the Dallas Cowboys.
A lot of question marks in that last matchup.
Yep. Yeah, I know. You went over on time a little bit. You couldn't decide.
No, I could. I was having a hard time.
The Giants side of the ball, man, the Cowboys defense is pretty atrocious, and it's mainly in the secondary. So
absolutely.
You're firing up Darius Slayton, Golden Tate. Sterling Shepard might be a good start as well. Daniel Jones, he could be a good streamer, but it's fire up at your own risk on that one. And then the running backs, I guess Devonta Freeman, if you really need a running back.
Yeah, he didn't look too bad this last week. Mm-hmm. Just in the usage that he got. So
on the Cowboys side of the ball, you're firing up everyone that you have been already. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup might be the one. If you need a flex spot start, then Michael Gallup. He's kind of been the odd man out.
Michael Gallup's going to be very boom bust.
Yep.
He's going to give you big, probably massive weeks. Like he's given you one and then 3 stinkers, but yeah.
He's been the odd man out for sure. So.
Yeah, it could be a flex play, I guess. All right. Next one we got here is the Indianapolis Colts versus the Cleveland Browns. Do not expect the Cleveland Browns to have the game that they had last week against the Cowboys. The Indianapolis Colts defense has been very, very stingy, very strong this season. So you are starting Odell Beckham Jr. as a wide receiver too. I would stay away from Jarvis Landry and actually any other pass catchers there. I would also pivot away from Baker Mayfield if you've got another start at QB on your team. You're starting Kareem Hunt, and if you have to, which I am in that boat, I am starting Dearness Johnson simply because my running back depth is very, very atrocious at the moment. On the Colts side, not starting Phillip Rivers. You are starting Jonathan Taylor, but man, I hope he starts getting more usage.
Yeah, he's kind of been splitting some carries with Nyheim Hines and Jordan Wilkins. So.
Yeah, with the way Hines has been used, I think you could probably start Nyheim Hines in a flex spot if you have to, or like I said, if you're desperate at running back. Pass catchers, they messed up their tight end situation with Mo Alley Cox, with Trey Burton getting a lot more usage now. I'm staying away from the tight ends there. Who am I missing? Anybody there that you would start as far as receivers or anything goes?
Nope.
The Browns are not very good against the pass.
Yeah.
So you could get away with T.Y. Hilton, I guess. in a flex spot.
Start at your own risk.
Because, the Browns secondary has given up quite a bit. So I guess T.Y. Hilton, I would feel okay flexing this week. Ugh.
Our next matchup here is...
I hate sounding so...
Yeah, it's ugly. Our next matchup here is the Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks, your Sunday night game. Oh!
It's a jackpot!
Jackpot matchup time, baby.
Man, we're just riding the Seahawks and the Falcons right now.
Hey, man, when Russ is cooking, you can't stop, man.
And when that
can't
secondary cannot stop wide receivers.
That as well. So on the Vikings side of the ball, I would fire up Kirk Cousins. I think he'd be a good streaming quarterback, especially against that shaky Seahawks secondary. Man, that's a lot of S's right there.
Yep. Say that 5 times fast.
Mm-hmm. You're firing up Adam Thielen. You're firing up Dalvin Cook. Justin Jefferson, I'm going to light him up as well, and he's going to take off. On the Seahawks side of the ball, Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Fire them all up, man. If you need a tight end replacement, I would suggest Greg Olsen on the Seahawks. He's actually been getting more and more involved in the offense.
Yeah, for sure. Fire up all your pieces, all your starting pieces. In this game.
Your Cedric Wilsons.
No. Don't do anybody like that. Don't do.
Maybe not your David Moore.
Unless
you had to.
I'm probably not starting BC Johnson.
Yeah.
But yeah, Justin Jefferson for sure. Adam Thielen definitely. Kyle Rudolph. I don't know.
Nah.
The tight end's still not doing great against the Seahawks, but Dalvin Cook obviously. Kirk Cousins, feel good about it. This is a jackpot right here. I'm feeling it.
It's going to be a big one. It's Sunday night,
I'm feeling it.
Sunday night. Russ is going to cook.
Decent, really good offense going up against a decent offense and 2 terrible, terrible defenses. I love it. All right. Now it's getting weird on the schedule here. So we've got the flexed Denver Broncos versus New England Patriots game here on Monday night at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So
that's 2 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, over on the West Coast here. We're starting at 2 p.m. with this one. Denver Broncos versus the New England Patriots. This is going to be ugly. I doubt Cam Newton starts.
Nope.
So it's more than likely going to be, who knows, between Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham. Staying away from both of them. Do not start either. Maybe feel good about the Denver Broncos defense, even though it is banged up. Running backs for the Patriots. I guess James White.
Maybe
you gotta flex him.
Maybe Damian Harris, but man, you're
Damian Harris.
Gambling at that point.
I'm staying away if I can. Pass catchers, Alex. Julian Edelman.
That's probably about the only flex.
One.
Edelman,
Everything else, I'm kind of staying away. Denver Broncos. Probably starting up Jerry Jeudy. Starting up, you can maybe consider a flex of Tim Patrick, I guess. But if I can stay away with another pivot, I'm doing that.
I'm not flexing Tim
with
Patrick.
The likes of T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, whatever, I'm starting them over Tim Patrick in my flex
Tim
for
Patrick's
sure.
Way down the list. But I get it.
Start Melvin Gordon, and then it sounds like Phillip Lindsay is going to be back. I would stay away from Phillip Lindsay until you see what kind of usage he gets in this one. All right. Ugly, man. I don't think Drew Lock's going to be back in this one either. I think he's going to get another week. But he has been back practicing in a limited fashion. So
our Monday night game, the second Monday night game now, the late Monday night game, is the LA Chargers going up against the New Orleans Saints. On the Chargers side of the ball, it's kind of a tough defense to go up against, but I'm still starting Justin Herbert. He's been playing pretty well lately. I think you stay in the flames with him. Keenan Allen, starting up Keenan Allen there for sure. Joshua Kelly and Justin Jackson, I think you could probably start both in the flex if you need to, but it'll be kind of interesting to see what the dispersion of carries will look like between there.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Justin Jackson's more of the prototypical pass catching back. We'll see.
And then Hunter Henry, starting up Hunter Henry as well on the Chargers side. On the Saints side, you're starting up Alvin Kamara. You're starting up. It sounds like Michael Thomas might have a shot to play in this. So if he's active, I'm starting him as well.
Try to get you a pivot play because you're keeping Michael Thomas in there. Try to have a pivot play for the Monday night game if you can. If
like
you
a
can,
Traquan or an Emmanuel Sanders or something like that.
if you have to, yeah.
So
even a Jared Cook, if he's your second tight end and you got to throw him into the flex.
I wouldn't mind.
Is he playing?
I haven't
Jared
seen
Cook?
him practicing yet
Sorry,
so that's
so maybe not.
Keep an eye on that too. But I wouldn't mind Jared Cook either. And then Drew Brees, man, Chargers defense is kind of a stickler too, so I don't know if I'd start Drew Brees or not. So that's up to you.
Yeah, if you got another quarter, I'm starting Teddy Bridgewater over Drew Brees, for example. If you have,
well, there you go.
If you've got both them, so or if you could have picked Teddy Bridgewater up off waivers. Mm-hmm. All right, and now
our Tuesday night matchup.
Assuming it happens.
Tuesday night COVID matchup.
It's like Friday morning, so you're more than likely listening to this on Friday. What happens this morning is going to be critical to whether this game actually happens for this week or not. So, Buffalo Bills versus Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans keep having positive tests for COVID-19. We'll see whether this game happens. Buffalo Bills side, you have Josh Allen in your lineup. You have Stephon Diggs in your lineup. You have John Brown in your lineup.
Devin Singletary in your lineup.
Devin Singletary is in your lineup.
Outside
Be
that,
prepared to name a replacement if that's what your league is allowing, and do it before the Sunday night games so it counts. Tennessee Titans, you're starting up Derrick Henry. You more than likely are starting up, well, I don't know, probably not Ryan Tannehill. I don't think I'm starting Ryan Tannehill.
Not against the Bills. I mean, if you have to.
A.J. Brown's supposed to be back, it sounds like. So, I mean, if A.J. Brown's out there, you're probably having to start A.J. Brown. Corey Davis is on the COVID-19 list.
Yep, so it gets real hairy.
Jonnu Smith is the other one that you have in your lineup. Have a replacement ready if need be. But for sure, Derrick Henry, Jonnu Smith, and then nickname that replacement in there to be prepared in case this game is canceled or postponed further. It's so weird. So weird talking about that potentiality and having to deal with this like every single weekend now, it feels like. Just crazy, man. But all right, we're diving right into Hot Prop and Lock It. We're going to update the standings here. Hot Prop and Lock It brought to you by our friends at Thrive Fantasy. You can download their app on the App Store or the Google Play Store today. And if you're not already on Thrive Fantasy using our promo code Fantasy Chairman or Chairman, then I don't know what you're doing, because you can use that promo code, deposit your first $20 or more, and they will match up to $50 of that first deposit. That's free money that you can use in the app to go in and play a new version of fantasy where you choose player props to set your lineup, and whether you hit the over or the under and you get it correct for those 10 players that you pick, that's your fantasy points based on the point total attached to those props. Get in there, hashtag prop up with us on Thrive Fantasy today. Get in there and set your Sunday lineups. You can even do the touchdown over or unders. It's really, really fun. All right, Hot Prop and Lock It. Alex, we do not have the Squatch with us again today. We'll hit him up in one of the other shows. Okay, so Alex, you pulled ahead by one more on both Matt and I.
Yeah.
I dropped down to being tied with Matt. Alex is currently through 4 weeks at 13 correct. Matt and I both have 11 correct. So in week 4, all of us were wrong. We all said over on Lamar Jackson, 300.5 pass plus rushing yards. He didn't need that to show his dominance.
Nope, he just ran.
He didn't need that. He did.
Which I hope he starts throwing the ball some, because, man.
Out of practice with a knee injury on Wednesday. Out with a
knee and illness.
Out with a sore tummy today. So upset tummy. Allen Robinson, we all said over on 5.5 receptions. We all got that correct. Carson Wentz, this is where things went wrong for me. Carson Wentz, 22.5 completions. Alex and Matt were correct with the under. I was incorrect with the over. Oh, and just in that last comeback drive there, I just needed him to dink and dunk, and he just had that one long pass that just ruined me. Dang it, Carson. And then Josh Jacobs, this is where I got one back on the 0.5 rushing touchdowns. Alex and Matt both said over and were incorrect. I said under. I got that one correct. He did not have a rushing touchdown and did not have a great game.
No, I don't even think he had a shot to get a rushing touchdown.
No, it wasn't even close. And then here's another one where I lost one. And honestly, it sucks because it was due to injury for the most part. We don't know what would have happened if he stayed healthy. But Austin Eckler.
Trust me, I'd give this win back if I could.
I know you would. I know. So would I. I mean, if I could get the over correct and have Austin Eckler in my lineups still. Austin Eckler, 54.5 rushing yards. Alex and Matt were correct with the under. I was incorrect with the over. Alex and Matt both got 3 correct. I got 2 correct on this one. So dang it, Alex. I'm going to need to go mega contrarian on you again this week.
Oof.
All right. We'll just rotate who starts it here. I'll go first. I think you went first on the first one last week. So this one, we've got DeAndre Hopkins, 86.5 receiving yards going up against the New York Jets. I'm hitting the over on DeAndre Hopkins, 86.5 receiving yards.
Over for sure.
All
the
right.
Jets. Come on, man.
Yep.
Gonna scorch them.
Fair enough. And DeAndre Hopkins was back practicing fully, I believe.
He was.
So
He was.
gonna get those hyper targets from Kyler Murray again. All right, next one, Alex, is Patrick Mahomes going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. 24.5 completions. 24.5 completions.
I'm going to say under. I think they get ahead, and I think Clyde Edwards, this is a big Clyde Edwards-Hilaire game.
Yeah, that's my exact reasoning. I'm going with the under as well. So,
Yep.
Dang it. All right, this next one here, we've got James Robinson, 96.5 rushing plus receiving yards. James Robinson of the Miami Dolphins. Or no, sorry. James Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Going up against
I
the
got
Dolphins.
him confused. No. They're going up against the Texans.
Oh, Texans. That's right. Man.
Yeah. I got Myles Gaskin and James Robinson confused.
Holy cow.
Sheesh. Okay. Let's restart. James Robinson, 96.5 rushing plus receiving yards. Going up against the Texans. I'm going with the over here. I like James Robinson. I like James Robinson going up against the Texans defense here. And like you said, I think the Texans are going to come out firing. I think it's going to be a have to go for the Jaguars this game. And James Robinson gets used in the passing game quite frequently.
I am going to go with the under, actually, on this one.
I figured you would.
I'm going to go with the under on this one.
Figured you would.
I mean, not to say that Minshew doesn't like to dump it down, but I think Minshew's going to have to they're going to have to get some big chunk gains. So
Yep. Nope. I feel that for sure. I had a hard time deciding what I wanted to do on
you
that
wanted
one,
to go under,
actually.
didn't you?
Part of me did, yes. All right. Next one. Your boy, DK Metcalf.
You put this in here to bait me, didn't you?
In our jackpot matchup of the week.
You put this in here to bait me.
In our jackpot matchup of the week, man. 77.5 receiving yards going up against the Minnesota Vikings.
Over.
Oh, my
Man,
gosh.
Gonna burn them, man. Are you kidding me?
Hey, I'm going with the over on that one
Yeah,
as well.
that's a given.
Yep, DK Metcalf, 77.5 receiving yards. We are both going over on that. And the last one here, going up against the Indianapolis Colts, Baker Mayfield, 241.5 passing yards. I think you went first last one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. 241.5 passing yards going up against the Indianapolis Colts. And I have to go with the under on this one. I don't think he's capping that. I think, like we talked about,
Going under, man.
they're sticking to the
way.
run script. That
Yep.
Indianapolis Colts defense, especially against the pass, has been very, very strong. So I can't. So I've only got one contrarian pick to Alex this week. So I will not catch you this week, but it's coming. It's coming, Alex.
We'll have to see if the Squatch can trick himself into some contrarian picks.
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm gonna try to bait him a little bit. We'll see.
All right. Well, our final recap here with the Thursday night game. We got the Buccaneers at 16 and the Bears at 14 with 13:05 to go in the fourth quarter. And Bears got the ball in the red zone right now. We'll see.
Foles, Montgomery, help me out here. Let's go.
Come on, Allen Robinson.
Come on. Oh, also, Scotty Miller. I need to see something out of you.
Oh, Scotty Miller. Oh,
Yes.
man.
Foles.
Wow, Foles went
about
back.
lost a
Almost had a strip
fumble
sack.
there.
That was yikes.
Okay.
They sent the house on him.
Anyway, thank you to our friends at Thrive Fantasy for bringing us Hot Prop and Lock It. That'll do it for this episode, Alex. It is week 5. Let's get out. Let's get another win in our 2 main leagues here.
We need that,
Dynasty,
man. We need it.
And the League of Origin. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Chairman Fantasy, at FindFF Leagues, and at Fantasy Squatch. And you can follow us on Instagram at Fantasy Chairman Pod.
And download, rate, and review us on all your podcast listening devices. And it goes a long way in helping us out with the podcast. So we appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much for listening. Don't forget to visit the website too, www.fantasychairman.com. Still a little under construction, but we'll get it there. That's what we need your reviews for.
We need the help.
We'll see you later.
Bye.